Today on the show, my guest is already making millions of dollars, what so-called seven figures, from his online business. Hi, we are all here for the same reason, to make money online. We are all entrepreneurs, just in different steps of our business journey. Some of us did not even start making the first dollar online, and some of us are either solo entrepreneurs or even CEOs of the organizations that we've built from scratch. My name is Kfir, and since 13 years, I'm an online entrepreneur myself. And on a day-to-day, I serve as the CEO of the software company that I co-founded, DSM Tool, which creates automation tools for dropshipping stores and that helps beginners to get started with their own low-risk dropshipping business. As a member of the online entrepreneurship community, I decided to go on a journey and meet up with other entrepreneurs in order to try to understand their journey. What inspired them and inspires them today? What are the struggles that they have to go through in order to make those businesses? And maybe to learn some how-tos or even get opportunities to do some business. Today I have with me Arturo Knight, and we're gonna jump right into the conversation with him. I just want to remind you that if you're watching this on YouTube or maybe in the Facebook group, then don't forget to follow us and subscribe to the channel. And if you would like, or if you are already listening to it as a podcast, then it's available on in all of the podcast apps. And I would love if you would leave us a positive review so we could get to more people. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's meet Arturo. Arturo, I'm on your website, which looks amazing, and it says here that I'm quoting from the website. You've been featured on Yahoo Future Sharks, CNN, and Fox for achievements. You had millions of views online. You do e-commerce. You're even a musician. You appeared on Netflix films. And you play in a metal band. What's going on? Like, what's your business?
My business is, that's the thing. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a creator. So when a lot of people ask me what I do, there's not really a specific thing I do because I like to dabble in everything that I can. You know, I like lots of different things, and I can't just focus on just one thing. I have to do everything I like, and I'm a really good multitasker, so I can make it all happen. You know, a lot of people think that you can't do it. It's just making time for it. And, you know, also as a musician, with music, most of that stuff takes place at nighttime. So yeah. I'm able to spread out everything evenly. And then when I travel with e-commerce, I'm able to use my hotspots, my laptop. So I'm able to travel and do all the stuff I love while also having my source of income to help do the stuff I love. Because, being a musician, being in Netflix films is cool, but it doesn't put the bread on the table. It's fun, but, I mean, we'll face it. It's just not, it doesn't pay out as pretty as most people believe.
Interesting. Yeah, so first you revealed the secret that I'm not sure if I ever told on my show or in my channel that I play the drums. That's true, so I have a little bit of a musician in me, at least in my soul. But let's talk business. I mean, this show is called The Online Entrepreneurs, and it's about people that make money online. And as you've mentioned, you have e-commerce businesses. So what are your businesses? What are your current income channels? And I'm already telling you, we're going to then jump back in time all the way to the beginning. But I like to start from the end. I like to start from how the hell are you making money today? And then we will slowly go through how did you get there and, learn from it.
Yeah, so as you mentioned earlier, I do lots of other stuff, but specifically focusing on e-commerce itself. The way I bring in my income is I have multiple stores that I run through Shopify, Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and even WordPress. I also have multiple brands that I own. One brand I own is called DAP Supply. We sell hemp products. And I was just throwing out some names out there. I have another one called Naturally Beat. We sell eco-friendly products that help the kitchen. I have another business that's Night Fitness. I sell fitness clothing. And many other stores and businesses and brands that I have. all those stores that I have, whether it's Shopify or Amazon, all these brands that I have, um, that's what I love to do. That's the main focus of e-commerce. That's what I love to do is branding. I love to build. I love to brand and build these stores. Market them and take care of all that in-house myself because I know I'm good at it. So that's the main way that I power my e-commerce. Then now, since last year, I got a little more deeper into e-commerce and went from a seller to now an influencer as well. So just starting around March of last year, I jumped on TikTok and I started making one video here, two videos, and my goal was specifically around that time of March last year, everyone was losing their jobs. People were out of money. Even people in my family, my friends, everyone around me.
We've seen a massive growth
Yeah, it was
people
horrible.
that are looking for a new channel of income.
Mm-hmm. And it was horrible, and I was seeing everyone losing their jobs, not having anywhere to go to, and I kind of felt guilty because, I've been doing e-commerce for years, and I kind of prepared for this. I've always wanted to work for myself. I've always wanted to work from home. So I was good. I mean, while I was watching everyone else losing their jobs, I was making more money. And the reason for that was because people losing their jobs in the COVID, people were staying at home. So that means they're buying on Amazon now. They're buying on Shopify. They're buying from their phones because they didn't want, they didn't want to physically go out to the real world to risk getting a virus.
Yeah.
So my business started taking off, but other people started losing their jobs. So that's where I kind of went in me that my natural thing, with anything I do, whether it's music, e-commerce, anything, my number one goal is to help. Help people, help someone, do something.
Help the
So
world. You said you do green products.
Yeah, and it takes me back to my base of when I was seeing this happen, I decided, you know what, I need to show people that there's a way out. There's a way to make money. You don't have to go apply for a job. You could do it right from the same phone that you're making that Facebook post from. And the only thing was people didn't know this existed. And the only reason is because, for one, they haven't been introduced to e-commerce. They don't know how it really works.
Mm-hmm.
Two, most of the people that are teaching e-commerce are way older than me. And they kind of teach them more different things, more outdated stuff, I want to say. A little more intense to where it takes a lot of work to make something happen. But I didn't really see someone, the guy that I learned e-commerce from was a younger guy. And he taught me the tricks and the tips, the shortcuts, to where I was able to get up and sell in less than a month. And I started making money my first month.
How old
So
are you?
I thought, I'm 16, around 15, 16.
Damn. How
Yeah,
old are you today?
and I'm 27 now.
All right.
Yeah.
10 years.
So I've been doing it for a good while. But of course, when I first started, the platforms I used were very basic. I was using Dreamweaver to make my stores. Very classic.
Dreamweaver, for the people who don't know what it is, it's like this shop.
Oh yeah, it was
2000.
very hard to make e-commerce happen back when it was fairly early because, for one, Shopify and all this stuff, not even Amazon existed.
Yeah.
So we were making Dreamweaver stores from scratch with codes, ugly looking stores, boxes. The 90s websites, even though it was a few years ago, but the internet is still new. So I was using WordPress, WooCommerce, Joomla. The harder stores, it took me up to 2-3 weeks just to build one store. And it took me up to a few hours just to process orders because it was just very slow. You also depend on the server. You're depending on all that stuff. So from there, I kind of went out of it and, upgrade. I've been doing it for a while. But going back to last year, I started seeing people losing their jobs. So I decided I want to start teaching people how to do what I'm doing. Except I'm not going to charge. I'm not going to be a guru. I don't want to be a guru.
No way.
Exactly, and I hear this every single time that I tell people this because, a lot of times people say that I'm a guru, but I'm not. My main goal is to not be a guru. I don't like flashiness. I don't care for Lambos. Like I said, I'm from Texas, so we can't even own Lambos here because they'll be gone by tomorrow morning. They'll be broken into and gone.
Uh-huh.
So Texas isn't really flashy. We have big houses, but we don't have nice cars and stuff. So I don't really care about the flashiness. I'm real, very settled. So I didn't care about being a guru. So I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the game up. I'm going to shake up this e-commerce industry because it was very settled. The e-commerce industry last year and the year before, very settled. I mean, you had those few influencers that were really taking it over, doing amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still a very small industry that was easy to take over. Very easy. I've only been doing this for 1 year, and I'm speaking with you. That's what I'm saying. It's not hard to take over this industry if you do it the right way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that try to get in this industry do it for the wrong reasons. They just want money.
Mm-hmm.
They also don't even know the right things to really teach, or teach the wrong things that could make people lose money. This happens a lot. So I wanted to come in the game, and like I said, I'm a creator. I love taking risks. I love doing things that are different. So I said, I'm going to come in the game. I'm going to be the first influencer to share all of our secrets for free. And I'm going to get so much hate because I'm not charging for it. So that's exactly what I did. I started making TikTok videos.
What can I get for free? I want to go get it. Where is it? How can I get it?
Go to my TikTok page, my YouTube channel. The number one is my TikTok page. I have over 500 videos that I've had in this past year that I've uploaded. And every single videos are tips and tricks and walkthroughs and everything. Mm-hmm. What most e-commerce gurus do is they'll teach you something, but it's not 100%. They're only going to teach you enough to where they know that you're probably going to have a problem or need some help, and then still not be able to do it. Mm-hmm. That's how they make money. If you don't teach everything, when people try to do it, it's not going to work out. And I always tell people, do not even sell if you don't know what you're doing. Don't even make an Amazon account or Shopify account if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. So I came into the game. I changed things up. I just started posting content, free content. This is how you make a Facebook ad. This is how you create a Shopify store. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. This is how you do that, period. Mm-hmm. Since I was the only one sharing this info, my platform started to blow up because I was the only one doing it. Mm-hmm. So from there, I started noticing, wow, I'm actually getting traction from this. Being a musician, I've been doing it my whole life since I was 8 years old. But being an influencer was something that I never thought I would ever do. Because I honestly, growing up, I didn't care for influencers. Like I said, I'm from Texas. We don't care about that stuff. Mm-hmm. But growing up, I thought always an influencer is people who post Instagram pictures or people who post nice traveling. Those aren't the real influencers.
Without a shirt.
There's multiple influencers that also teach. Gary Vee, Grant Cardone. These are the guys that I've learned from that influenced me. And now they're at a way bigger level. Mm-hmm. So you won't be able to get much influence from someone like Ty Lopez right now or Gary Vee unless you paid thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. So that's where I wanted to change the game up. I started posting free content. My TikTok blew up. Within a year, right now I'm at around 200,000 followers. I've had videos that have over millions of views. And it's all because I'm not focusing on e-commerce, focusing on the person watching the video. I'm focusing on how I could help the other person. I'm even answering questions about taxes. I'm not a tax expert, but from me doing my taxes with e-commerce, I'm able to help someone else who needs that help. So since the virus started last year, I've helped hundreds and thousands and probably millions of people start their e-commerce journey. And I haven't spoken to all of the people I've helped, but I know I've helped a lot from the comments I've seen, the views I've gotten. And the reason I know I help people is because these videos I make, everything's in them. You can take my video and go do it on your own. Yeah. You don't even have to like my video, and you'll be able to start selling. I have people who said, I've been watching your videos for 6-7 months. I made over 100K, and this is their first time reaching out to me. They never reached out to me before this. So I know there's people that I'm helping, and it's helping me build myself as well. I'm also now I'm seeing now what I was meant to be here for. What my focus is right now that I'm here doing right now.
For example, you're being invited to podcasts, right?
Exactly. This one. Exactly. And I'm a big believer on manifestation, and we're in the right place at the perfect, exact right time. So the only reason I'm here in front of you right now is because I started this a year ago. My goal is to help people, and as long as I follow what I believe I'm here to do, all of this is going to be easy as cake for me.
Which is why payback.
Yeah, and which is why you mentioned earlier that I do a lot. I'm a musician. I also own a cryptocurrency. I do e-commerce. I tour. I'm going on a huge West Coast tour later this year as well for a month or 2 months. So I'm doing all this, but because I'm doing it for the right reasons, it happens to me seamlessly. Things are in the right place at the right time to where I could live a perfect life in my sense, and every day is very calm for me. Every day I'm able, since I'm doing what I like, I'm doing what I love, and I'm in full control now, everything now is there's no stress. Now everything I'm able to observe and create.
Yeah.
And now I even have students. I'm teaching other people to start selling online. And before I was doing it for myself. But now, like this podcast, we're helping other people do it. So, your software, this podcast, this is to also help other people start their journeys with e-commerce. Or not even just with e-commerce, just starting a business online, because things aren't the same anymore. We can't depend on these 9-to-5s. This virus has really set us back. So e-commerce is very strong right now, and it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm still early to the game. But, going a year ago, when I started becoming an influencer, this is why. This interview right here. I wanted to share my knowledge of e-commerce, because e-commerce, let's face it, it's not the hardest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the easiest industries to jump into that you could get in overnight. You can start an e-commerce store by tomorrow.
We have a survey about people that start eBay dropshipping. 68% of them made the first sale within less than 7 days. And we're talking about a business model that doesn't require any advertisement budget and any inventory. It's like almost
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The hardest part of all this is convincing other people and showing them that this works. That's the hardest thing that I've found. And that's mainly because e-commerce has gotten a bad, in drop shipping specifically, and e-commerce has gotten a bad rep from the people who don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be, which I understand, it's a rat race in the online industry.
And
but I've noticed,
people that, I'm not saying 70% of the people that sign up to the service are making the sale. I'm talking about people that are actually starting listing items and actually trying. And among them, and I mentioned the first sale. First sale doesn't mean that your business is going to be profitable. There is a long journey afterwards that you have to go through.
Exactly.
And yes,
it takes work, and that's the thing that a lot of people need to realize. It does take work. It's not going to, money doesn't fall from the trees.
Let's talk about that in terms of, I want to go back in time. But before I jump back in time, I want to ask you if you're comfortable sharing. Until now we've talked about the present, and a lot of people are saying to themselves probably, "Hey, this guy is interesting. I might want to follow the steps that he's taking because I want to get to where he's getting." What are the figures that we're talking about? Let's say annually. Are we talking about just in revenue? Let's not talk about profits. Let's leave that confidential for you. But are we talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars of revenue from all of your businesses, everything?
From the start, number one thing I recommend, find a mentor. Whether it's free or paid, find someone that you want to look up to.
Wait.
That's number one thing that
I'm asking if you're comfortable sharing your figures in terms of
my figures, I make around 7 figures right now. And I'm 27 years old. I made my first 6 figures when I was 20. And I'm still pushing. One thing about me is I love money. I love working. Almost 90% of my income is still sitting there. I also have a cryptocurrency that I own that's run by an energy drink company. Mm-hmm. Same thing for my cryptocurrency. I'm starting somewhere that to other people might be smaller, but for someone my age in my area here in Texas, it's huge.
Oh, it's huge for 99% of the people in the world. I mean,
yes, but in the e-commerce industry, you can make way more than me as long as you just put more work. I mean, I have friends that make millions just off of Shopify by itself.
Wait, you're jumping too fast to talking about the future. Now I want to jump back 10 years ago, 11 years ago. You were 16 when you just got started? Is that what you said?
Yes, with e-commerce.
So tell me the first time that you thought in your mind, I'm going to make money and I'm going to make it online. I'm not going to teach, I don't know, look for students to teach them how to play your bass player. What did you say that you play?
You're exactly right. Yeah, I'm a bass player. Yes.
I'm not that would be ideal, right? You would just go and teach people how to play the bass. But no, you said, I want to become an entrepreneur. When did it happen? And what pushed you there, and what did you do? What were the actual steps that you took in order to make your first buck?
So, of course, I've been a musician my whole life since I was 8. But one thing that people don't know about me, I'm a big introvert. You know, I love being inside. I'm an observer. I'm not a speaker unless I have to. Of course, people see me online and think I'm, love to speak and all that because my videos and all that. I'm a very big introvert. So going back to me being an introvert, when I was younger, I spent most of my time inside. You know, I really didn't have much friends to go out and play with. Especially me being in the music industry, it was run as a business.
Mm-hmm.
I was rehearsing every week. At nights I was rehearsing. I was performing. I was traveling. I was managed.
What age is
So
that?
8. I started at 8 years old on stage.
8 years old.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm still performing on stage now. I'm just doing festivals and bigger arenas and stuff. But, starting off from there, I didn't really have much friends to go and play with, aside from my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stayed inside a lot. I stayed inside. And from there, I started getting on the computer, learning the internet. Once I started learning the internet, I was just amazed. And this is when DSL was around, AOL, the Time Warner Cable, when dial-up, I had to wait just for the phone call to happen, the network to get on the internet.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with the internet. And then going through the internet online, Google was one big thing. I was just looking for random stuff, pictures. One thing that I started noticing was I came across dropshipping. And this was as early as dropshipping has been around for a long time, just done differently. And I read about it online. I think it was a YouTube video I saw. I was watching random YouTube videos, probably learning how to, create an app or something. I had big dreams, with the internet. And I came across drop shipping, and I saw an older guy that had taught about how to drop ship. So I said, I can do this. I know how to use the computer. I'm sure I could build a website. I just need to learn how to do it. And plus, being 16, when I've always been an entrepreneur, I've always been a pusher. I've always aimed to make an income. Mm-hmm. So I moved out of my parents' house.
Since you were around that age of 16?
Since I was a kid, I've always had a love for money. Mm-hmm. I've also had a love for success and work. Basically.
So how did you do it? How did you sell your first item? What literally?
My very first store that I did was a drop ship store for country items. If you go to Cracker Barrel, I'm not sure if you. Yeah, I know here in Texas we have them a lot, but there's Cracker Barrels, and basically these Cracker Barrels, there's peanuts on the floor. They have a store with, country stuff for homes, decor. What I did was I found one website that was already selling these items at discount, wholesale, and then I went into Dreamweaver, and I created my first store. I only had like 10 products on it. And then every day I would wake up, I'll just add more products. And this was before I even launched. So I was learning the very first time, it wasn't really focused on me making money. Mm-hmm. It was me focused on, can I do this? Can I build a store? Can I do this? Of course I can.
Technically, can you technically do the...
Yeah, can I technically do it? I mean, it looks easy online, but can I technically do it?
Yeah.
So I tried it. I created the store. I loaded it with the products. And that was it. The store was done. And I forgot exactly what the store was, like Country Oats or Country something. It was very, very cheap. It was a cheap store. But it was back, when I was younger. So the store is up and running. Now I have a full store. So now I'm sitting with my store thinking, what do I do now? I made my store. Customers? I didn't know nothing about marketing. I knew nothing about how to get a sale. But what I learned was how to get a store running, how to drop ship, how it works. So I had my store up. I was paying monthly the hosting fee. I didn't know what it sat there. From there, I decided, okay, I'm not going to get sales from just Google, apparently. That's how I thought it worked. I thought once you create a website, and there's people nowadays that still believe this as well. They believe if you just build a store, that sales just fall out of the sky because you have a good product. It doesn't work that way. And I learned that starting off. So what I ended up doing was I said, okay, this is not working, but I know the system works. Let me try something else. So what I ended up doing was I ended up reposting those same products on eBay. And I was already selling on eBay, but what I was selling was the stuff my toys. I remember my very first sale on eBay was, this wasn't drop shipping, but I used to be a big collector of Scooby-Doo things. I love Scooby-Doo. I had everything, even replicas. I had everything with Scooby-Doo. So what I did, when this will show you how much I cared, about doing what I was doing, I got all of my toys together. I took a picture, and I sold all of my collection for $300 on eBay. And $300 back then to me was like $1 million to me right now. So I was ecstatic. I made my first $300 sell. My dad was the number one that was like, what? What did you do? Is this real money? Are you sure what you're doing is legal? Like, that's the number one thing my parents first thought, like, is what you're doing, is it legal? Like, they didn't know what was going on.
Of course.
So I told them, yeah, it's legal. I sold it on eBay. Now I just have to get a package and ship it to them. But they're like, well, you just sold all your toys. And I said, I know, but I made $300. I could buy more toys now. So that was what I started. I knew that worked. So I just put all the products from my store on eBay. I started getting these eBay sales. And I started noticing, okay, eBay's getting me my sales, but my store's not. So, let's get rid of my store and let's just focus on eBay. So I just started posting that store's products on eBay by copying the picture, copying the description, copying the title. Super simple. It's just copying something that already exists. I listed it, started getting sales, and it started growing. And from there, I was having the supplier, which is that website, ship it out for me. And I was only making, $2 to $10 profits on my stuff. That's the reason I think I was getting sales, because I put the price lower than the competition. I didn't really care much for my profit, but I wanted just to prove that I could get sales.
I feel like you're going through my course right now, like step by step, what I teach people to do.
Yeah, and you'll find like the e-commerce is basically, you could use the same strategy on eBay, on Amazon.
How many years ago are we talking about? 10 years?
Yeah, it's just different rules, different regulations
changed.
you have to go by. So, and, especially with eBay, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed at all, just the platform, the way it looks. It's the same. The only thing is getting people to believe that this works. And people won't believe until they see it in front of their eyes.
I have a question for you then.
Yes.
What would be your comment? I want to move a little bit forward, and that will be the last question I'm asking, because we're trying to keep those interviews under 30 minutes. I want you to tell the story of, of the first time that you used money as an investment. So for example, when people start a Shopify store and then they need to put money on Facebook advertising, they need to invest that money into Facebook, and that money that they might never see. They just spend it on Facebook and hope that someone would buy for them on Facebook advertising. And a lot of times what I try to do with people is I try to teach a business model that doesn't require prior investment, or at least requires the minimal prior investment. So I want to ask you, when was the first time that you felt comfortable enough to make that first investment, to invest money ahead in your business before you know what would be the results? Because it sounds like you didn't start from it. And what is your comment on recommendation for beginners? Like how should you start? Should you start from investing money, or should you start with low risk and grow from there?
So when I first started when I was younger, and I'm just being very honest, up until I was about 23 years old, I didn't invest in anything that I had. What I was doing was I was just taking the profits and partying and buying crazy stuff. I was still a teenager with money, even going up into my early 20s. 21 was a very wild year for me. I was on tour. I was young. Now, once I turned around 23 is when I actually started realizing, what am I doing with my money? All this money I've made before has worked. I got unlucky, to make it. But if I would have saved all that money to now, how much would I have? Much more. So what I actually, ended up doing was I started saving my money. When I was 23, I started using the profits from my store. I would create a store and then use the profits that I make from that store to push back into it. What I call it is eating crap. Any store that I have, except now it's a little different, but every store that I create, I eat crap for at least 6 months. And by eating crap, that basically means any profit that comes into my store goes right back into it. So, and a lot of people also
If you
think
at all make any profits, right? You don't
yeah,
necessarily make
so
profits.
I didn't spend nothing. All the money goes back into advertising to make it get bigger. Eventually, I'll start taking small profits out of it, but I don't recommend that to start off because you need to build the brand. So now, my way of going at thing with investments is I like to first make sure that what I'm selling is going to work. I want to make sure 100% that if I'm going to invest my money into this, I'm not going to lose it. So the way I do that is by using software and tools. I find the winning product. I make sure that this is going to work. I make sure I'm not going to lose. And then once I decide that, now I've said, okay, I'm going to throw in money to invest. And the way I do things, a lot of other people will say, oh, Val, you need 5,000, 1,000. No. I always start off with 500 or less. And the reason for that is with any platform you're advertising on, Amazon, Shopify, doesn't matter. I'm sorry, not Amazon, Shopify. Google, TikTok, Facebook ads, Google ads, any of them that you use, they have a time frame in the beginning where the algorithm learns your product. The algorithm is learning your page. It's learning your audience. So you're about 90% going to lose that money. And I am okay with that because when you create an e-commerce store, you're not investing in that e-commerce store. You're not investing in that product. You're not investing in any of that. You're investing in the audience, period. And that's the way I see e-commerce.
And you have the experience. I mean,
yes. And one tip that I will give is for audiences, that's going to be your most valuable asset in e-commerce. Because when I created a store at 16 years old, if I would have kept track of every person that visited my store, I would have millions of people right now to sell similar products to. Now that I know what I'm doing with the pixel, stuff like that, I'm able to save my audiences. For instance, when I created my beeswax store, it's an eco-friendly beeswax wrap. I created that store and made a lot of money on it, but now I'm using that same audience to market all my other new stores to. I market them other eco-friendly products, and they sell like this because I'm using the lookalike audiences. I'm using these big audiences. So I recommend starting off small and then growing bigger, and you don't need big bucks to make a store happen.
Would you recommend people to consider starting from a completely low-risk business model that doesn't even require advertising if, for example, they don't have any experience, if they've never installed a pixel in their life or built a website or know what the hell is dropshipping even?
Yes, and I recommend starting with Shopify because with Shopify, the only risk you have is that $29 a month fee. If you could risk $30 for 1 month, then you have a whole month to lose, to win, to trial and error, to test that you know what you're doing. If
What
you
about
lose,
eBay like you did?
even easier, eBay's free. So, and if your product doesn't sell on eBay, it just gets relisted or deleted. I mean, you don't have really no risk for these. Okay, maybe a 30-cent listing fee on eBay. I'm willing to risk 30 cents to see if I can start becoming an entrepreneur online. And that's what sparks it. That's what's going to spark it. Your very first sale is going to spark everything in the future. That's what makes you a believer, is seeing that it works. So I do recommend, even if you don't have anything to invest, if you have $10, list something on eBay for 30 cents and start building. Then you'll have $20, then $30, $40, and then you just keep building from there and getting better and better. E-commerce is great for beginners. You don't have to be an expert. You want to be a beginner so you can learn how it works and then get better and better and better. So start off, I recommend with Shopify because you have room to learn. I don't recommend jumping right into platforms like Amazon and those bigger ones because you will get eaten up. Your account will be disabled within the first month because all the rules and regulations. You have to be an experienced seller for Amazon. But you can still start with eBay. You can start with these, Etsy is even easier than eBay. You can make things from your home and sell it online. I have some students, females, that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars selling the most basic things on Etsy. Leggings. I have one student actually who came to me, and said, I'm already making 6 figures on Etsy. I want to make more on these other platforms. What was she selling? She was selling counterfeit Gucci leggings. But
Not a good idea.
women, I guess, why? There's an audience for everything.
Yeah.
So she was making 6 figures on selling fake Gucci leggings, but she found that audience, and she worked on it, and she kept pushing on it, and then she reached out to me, and I got her on Amazon. I got her on, eBay as well, but it was easy. We got her a Shopify store and kept her going. You want to start off somewhere. Just start somewhere, learn somewhere, listen to podcasts like this. Use software and learn. Get involved with the community, and it'll be way easier. That's why at the beginning I said I recommend getting a mentor. Because if you get a mentor, or if you get someone, or watch someone on YouTube, watch me on TikTok. When you watch someone like that, it's much easier to get started than learning on your own. And even if you don't personally know them, you still have someone who's in the game doing it that you can relate to say, this is what I want to do. Great thing with me, I respond to every single message I get. So if you ever have any questions about anything, I have hundreds of messages daily that I still run through. I may be a little late, a week late or something, but I respond to every single message I get on Instagram, TikTok, my email, my YouTube comments, everything. Because it's on my phone.
Now people know how to contact you.
Yeah, easy responses. So if you ever have questions or anything, just reach out. There's people out there willing to help you. You just have to find them.
Arturo, I really, really appreciate you coming here today and participating in this show. And I believe that people might have questions, so you guys can comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Comment in the comment section, or ask in the dropshipping community. And I will invite you there as well. I don't think that you're a member yet there, so we could do like a post where people can ask questions. I'm just really grateful, and the reason that I'm grateful to host you on the show is because I find what you do beautiful. I find that it's inspiring to see that you do things because you care. You care about money, which is perfectly fine, and you should. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do all of that. I care about money too, but there is something bigger that you're looking at, and you're looking at the future of the economy, and you look at, I'm thinking in broader terms, at the future of the economy, of how the economy is going to look like, and the future of the world, and how the world is going to look like in the choices that you make. And I think it's wonderful. I think that people like you should get to the stage and be able to share their message with the world. You say that you're an introvert, and I say we need to expose you as much as possible.
I appreciate it so much. I appreciate the kind words. And you'll notice the universe brings people together that belong together. So, us being in this meeting right now is for a reason. We're going to be helping millions of people from just this video. So that's where everything is for a reason. But I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And until the next show.
Until the next show. Yeah, keep in contact, and we'll be working on some stuff. I'm looking forward to it.